Hello everyone! Today I'm going to continue the stories of the tzaddikim, the great rabbis, and today I'm going to talk about a very, very great Persian rabbi of Persian descent. His name was Rabbi Ben-Tzion Abba Shaul, who was born in the year 1924, and he came from a very illustrious family, very, very religious family. They were very observant in Iran, and they moved to Eretz Israel, the land of Israel, in the early 1900s. And they were very Haredi. He was the oldest of 16 children, siblings, believe it or not. And they lived in the area Sanhedria in Jerusalem, where the people from Bukharia, they moved to in that specific designated land. It was not a wealthy family. The father was a shoemaker, and at such an early age, he already, despite he was learning a lot of the time in kindergarten or preschool, he was also did different sort of tasks and jobs. They all had to pull their weight to keep the family afloat. And the family was very, very righteous. It was a time where many people were sending the people to the more Zionistic schools, which may have been secular orientated, and they were very, very observant, very strict in all the different mitzvot. So they had like a different level. So they enrolled him to the school, to the yeshiva of Porat Yosef, which is the leading flagship of the yeshivot, of the Sephardic yeshivot in Israel. And he got his place inside that at the age of 11, while at the same time he was working part-time also, but every extra second he was learning. He was a matzmid in the yeshiva and started learning there for many years, and started taking prominent positions at a young age. He was giving lectures, and when he was 24, in the year 1948, when the States was founded, he actually got married to a woman from a very, very illustrious rabbinic family. But however, in his life, he went through a lot of troubles. Not just that he came from came from a poor family originally, wealth-wise. He also suffered, unfortunately, his wife suffered 10 miscarriages, the rabbinate did, in a very unfortunate way. And finally, they had two children. One of them was a son, Eliyahu, who would actually become also a great rabbi later on. And his son, Eliyahu Abba Shaul, Rabbi Eliyahu Abba Shaul, he passed away this year. Several months back in the year 2022, sadly, but he was also a great rabbi. He became just like his father. So Rabbi Abba Shaul, he was a student of a Rabbi Ezra Attiah, who was a great rabbi, one of the great rabbis of Porat Yosef, and learned under him. He was his core student, and later on took on lectures upon himself and started teaching naturally. He was taking other senior positions, and after he was married, him and his wife gave up their life for Klal Yisrael, doing so much chesed. They set up so many young couples on shidduchim and successfully married off many, many people. So many great families came from them, religious families. He started up in an independent education network for Sephardi kids all across Israel. The network was called itself, respectively, the Mayan HaChinuch HaTorani network, where they learn Torah a lot of the day, coupled with other various different subjects. And he was head of it. He started up and fundraised. He went all over the world to raise money for it, around America, Mexico, London, England. He traveled all over Europe and raised so much money. Took out all his time. He was teaching the whole day in this yeshiva in Porat Yosef, many lectures. He wrote a famous book, which was a halachic book, which was called the She'elot Utshuvot or Litzion, which is even in print nowadays, and many people use it as a point of reference to know the different halachot in different segments of the Torah. And he was teaching everywhere. He was giving lectures the whole time. He was learning Kabbalah to the highest depth in the different chaburot he was learning inside. And even when he wasn't teaching, the whole time he was pretty much learning. He was giving it up. And he was famous for giving brachot to everybody. Even in the little extra time he had, everyone would come to him asking him for advice, for different halachot, coming for brachot, from all different walks of life, from all the different denominations of Jews. And one time there's a famous story where there was a woman that unfortunately suffered 3 C-sections, cesarean births, and she didn't want to go through another one, and she was pregnant. And she went to Rabbi Abba-Shaul and begged him, please guarantee me even that this next birth isn't going to have to be a C-section. And Rabbi Abba-Shaul, he didn't initially was hesitant, but he guaranteed it. And Baruch Hashem, at the end it was a regular healthy birth at the end. So his assistant said to him, all these times you're able to give these brachot, and it's always fruitful. It ends up being successful. What's the secret? So he actually said something that was a conversation between Hashem and Abraham, I believe in Parshat Lech Lecha and Vayera, where it was that when God spoke to Abraham, he actually promises Abraham, I will bless those who bless you. And he always did that because he had such a love for all of Am Yisrael, for everyone. He loved the people so much. He wanted the best for everyone. And he saw the Tzelem Elokim in everyone. And he was able to give the brachot to everyone because he meant it. And it bore fruit to it. And as I said before, he suffered a lot. It was a lot to suffer 10 miscarriages emotionally, what it would do with someone. And at the same time, he was running all these programs. He was teaching the whole time, writing books, traveling, lecturing, starting up all these different organizations, fundraising. He didn't let it go down. He had such faith in Hashem. It was an absolute incredible feat to have. And on top of that, in the year 1983, he became the Rosh Yeshiva of the Yeshiva Porat Yosef, which I said before is the largest Sephardic yeshiva in Israel, possibly in the world. And he suffered even more. He had a lot of strokes he suffered towards the last 10, 15 years of his life, and he couldn't move. He ended up in a wheelchair in his last days, but still at the same time, there wasn't a minute extra he had. He was always teaching, giving brachot, fundraising, writing books. The whole time he concentrated his time, his magnitude of Torah he gave away to everybody. He was a man that really loved Israel, and he resonates with me because my family comes from Iran originally, and he also is of Iranian descent, but arguably one of the greatest Iranian rabbis over the past few hundred years. And he was also a chavruta in school of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, and they were chavrutas together and learned, and they exchanged halachic opinions all throughout their life, and had the greatest esteem for each other. And his funeral was attended by 200,000 people from all the denominations, which was one of the largest funerals, especially at that stage, in Israeli history, believe it or not. And he was really, really a great rabbi, and he passed away, I believe, in the year 1998. So I would like to dedicate this in the zchut of a refuah shlema of Yechaskel ben Esther from any health problems, may be healthy and live till 120, Be'ez Hashem. Hopefully Moshiach will come before then, Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach. And by the way, it's his yahrzeit tonight, where he passed away on Yud Tet Tammuz, and today's Yud Tet Tammuz. So please, everyone, light a candle in his memory, or learn some Torah, and may that be wish all the luck on yourself with his zchut, all the great Torah and all the mitzvot he did. So today's Yud Tet Tammuz, and it's the day of his passing. So it's a day where we recognize what the great tzaddik on his day of passing, what he did for Am Yisrael and all the mitzvot he did. So I want to wish you all a fantastic day, and Be'ez Hashem, I'll be able to give more lectures in due course on great different Rabbanim. Thank you very much.